What's up? What's up? So we have a special podcast today. We have Brendan De Silva, somebody who I have a lot of respect for, who's been in the business now a little over 5 years, right?
Yeah, just over 5 years. This April was 5-year anniversary.
5 years, and you're one of the top agents already in the state, which is incredible because
A little crazy,
it
yeah.
requires a lot of hard work.
Well, I would definitely say with hard work. It requires like hard work, really, really good connections, and like part luck or like part grace of God, if you want to call it.
Walk me through your first year in the business.
So I think it is very interesting to know like how I got into the business. So I only got into real estate. I used to have like a really inspirational, like, oh, I love, houses. My family was poor. We got evicted. So now I want to like get houses and homes. The reality was I came out of jail when I got into real estate. And that was like even hard to get my license because I served 6 months. Yeah, I did 6 months in jail and I had a misdemeanor. So to get your license in the state of New Jersey was extremely difficult with misdemeanor on record, right? So finally, I only got into real estate like, it was like 6 months after I got out of jail, only because I couldn't get a job anywhere.
Yeah.
So I was applying for all the jobs, and then finally, like the third round of interviews, they were like, "Have you ever been convicted of a crime?" I was like, "Oh God, no." It was like I felt so humiliated.
Yeah.
And I felt like I remember leaving an interview. It was $12 an hour, like washing old people like who were mentally handicapped.
Yeah.
So it was like I felt like this altruistic, like, oh, I'm going to serve people, but I can't even get a job doing that. So I get out of the interview. I actually called my buddy Bennett, and I kind of cried. I was like, "Oh man, Lord, I can't do anything." And he's like, "Brendan, why don't you think about real estate?" I'm like, I'm not gonna be a real estate. This is like sales job. I'm not a sales guy. I'm a people person, whatever. But then I realized I have no other options. Yeah. So at the time I was broke. I was living with my mom, and my family is predominantly low income. So a buddy of mine was working at Exit Realty with Louis Noguera over there at
on Ferry Street.
on Ferry Street. Yeah. So he's like, "Listen, why don't you go? I'll pay for the class." I said, "Oh my God, stop." Wow, it's a blessing. I said, his name was Juan. I said, Juan. I said, the class is $450. Please send me the money. Thank you so much. It's amazing. He says, "Oh, I only have 400. So I was like, what the heck? I was like, this guy's trying to get me into real estate. He's in real estate. He's telling me he's making all this money. But I say, "Oh man, Juan." He goes, "I have 400. You got to figure out the other 50. So I said, okay. I called a lady from Acropolis Real Estate School. I hope she's like still around. She's a very nice woman. I said, "Look, I have $400. I'll write you a 5-star review. Will you just let me in? And like forget about this $50 difference." She's like, "All right, fine. But you have to write the review first." So I said, "All right." So I read the review before I even go into the classroom. And then I got into real estate with Louis because Louis was like where my buddy Joao Carlos was licensed. So that's how I got into real estate. And then my first 4 months, Louis had me like calling through like manual dialing, none of this Mojo dialer, like manual dialing. Like he gave me a stack of paper.
This is what, 2017, right?
Yeah, 2017. He gave me like a stack of paper as tall as like, the ceiling. And he's like, "Look, call through one-on-one." So I'm calling through these people. I'm the first one in the office. I'm just manually dialing. I'm running through these phones, blah, 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 blah. No script. Just, "Hey, do you want to buy a house?" And I was sending all my leads to Monica Ferreira. If you remember her. Yeah. She's like, she has like this, she has a really cool accent. I don't know where she's from. She's from like England. Yeah. Anyways, but she has a cool accent. I talked to her and I was saying all these deals. For the first 4 months, I didn't get a deal. Finally, I talked to my buddy month number 3, Juan. I'm like, "Listen, you kind of effed me over here. You told me like this is gonna be awesome. Like what the hell?" And he's like, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go be a bartender in Hoboken. I appreciate you for the opportunity. I'm sorry about the $400. I love you. And he was like, "Brendan, can you do me a favor?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, and this is right next to TD Bank on right off of Ferry Street. He goes, "Can you just give it one more month?" I'm like, fine. Well, a week later, I got an opportunity from the guy who was working the desk. A lead called in, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to go look at this 200K house down in Central Jersey, Jamesburg." Yeah. I'm like, 200K? I'm like, "Dude, this is a ton of money. Are you out of your mind?" I'm like, "What the heck? I'm going to make like $5,000 on this? This is insane." So I like say, "Yeah, I'll take the lead." And he like wanted me to pay him a referral. I was like, "I'll pay you anything you want. Just like, please.
Just give me the opportunity."
Anything. I'm willing to like scrub toilets. So then I went, and that was my first deal. I went like 5 times. True story. I ended up breaking into the majority of the properties because I didn't have the Supra. I didn't have the MLS. So I would just go and open up the windows and hop in. Because
we're gonna put an asterisk on this if the board's listening.
The board's listening. It didn't happen. But that's what I was doing. I was just breaking into these properties. I was telling agents, "Can you meet me there?" They said no. I'm like, "All right." I just made the appointment, and then I would like, "All right, which window's open?" And then I would hop in. So, and they just thought, they're like, "Oh, did you go to the property?" I'm like, "Yeah, the door was open," and I would just lie. But that's basically how I ended up getting my first deal. That deal ended up dying, which was like, I was like, "Man, this is really not for me." And then the buyer found a property at open house. I put an offer in, got accepted, and I remember that day I closed, and like after my split, it was like $2,700 or $2,500. I drove to my mom's house before even going to my broker, like drop off the check, like, cause I did the math of what like the commission was gonna be. I showed my mom and I was like, Mom, look at this. Yeah. And my mom and me are like crying. It's like this powerful scene, you know, in the kitchen. We're like, oh my God, we're rich. So, and that was like my first deal. And that year I would go on, don't like kill me if I'm wrong on numbers, but I think I closed like 15 or 18 deals, something like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it was like my first year was like 15 deals, like 12 months. It was like maybe just under 15 deals, like 15 deals, something like that. Yeah.
It only takes that one deal, right? Like to kind of motivate you when you have that check in your hand.
That's a big small.
Big or small, it doesn't matter. It's just the feeling of accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
That feeling, right? Just knowing that, all right, I got through my first one. Now let's go to the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth.
It just makes it seem possible.
Yeah.
Like when you close the hardest deal is the first deal. And it's funny too, because I've made on a closing like $60K on one closing. To me, that's a lot of money, right? On a commission check.
To anybody, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
One transaction.
One transaction made $60,000. I was like, holy crap. And it's funny because I looked at the $60,000 check. My admin hands me the check. I look at it. Like for 4 seconds, I give it to her. I'm like, hey, can you please deposit this? And I just keep cold calling.
So the $2,500 check that you got in your first transaction meant more to you than that $60,000 check.
And that was the moment, because when I first started real estate, Louis asked me, how much money do you want to make? And I said, I want to make $60,000. Yeah. Meanwhile, like $6,000 to me was the largest amount of money you could possibly make in life. Yeah. Like, how can you make more than $60,000? Like, my brother went to Harvard on full ride, and I'm like, dude, my brother is the type of person who makes more than $6,000. I don't know how much he made at the time. Now I realize he was making more than $60,000. I was like, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. Wow. So when I had that $6,000 check, it just shows you like the first like deal is the sweetest. It is the best deal. Like it's like the most like, that's why I tell agents like, oh, I'm so broke. I'm like, I understand you're broke. Just like savor this deal, because going from 0 to 1 is infinitely harder than going from 1 to 20.
Absolutely.
It's just so hard. The 0 to 1.
Because the mindset part.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem I think a lot of agents have, is getting over that mindset, deploying patience, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody wants instant gratification.
Yeah.
Like they want to see results immediately. And
First
they don't
month.
understand it is a process, right? It's a process. I can't even remember my first deal, but it wasn't easy, but it's a process. So let's fast forward. You've been in the business now for 5+ years. You're a top agent in the business, obviously. You know, and you're also now flipping properties. You're doing Airbnb.
So yeah, I don't flip. You don't flip. Right, I'm actually, so I know like, you like a lot of agents do promote flips. I really do not like flips. I'm not about the flip. I have a lot of respect for the flippers in the world. I work with them, right?
But that's the beauty about real estate. You could do buy and hold. You could flip. You could do Airbnb.
100%.
Like,
there's so many routes.
Yeah, you could carve out your own little niche.
Yeah,
right?
my niche is very simple. We buy 75 cents on the dollar. We are all in at like a 75 to 80% loan value. Yeah. We cash out refi. You keep the property, Airbnb it. Yeah. That's the only thing we do.
Is there a preference in location? Like, does it have to touch water, or does it have to be by train station?
So this is like the Airbnb like trick. So people, the people don't believe me when I say this. People think of Airbnb and you think like down the shore, you think national parks, all this stuff, because that's what people post. And I don't blame them, because they're making a crap ton of money. Yeah. But for me, we are like doing Airbnbs in urban environments, such as like Newark, East Orange. Like my Airbnb in East Orange, we just hit like over 10,000 after cleaning fees, after utilities last month. Oh, wow. On a 2-fam with a bonus. Yeah. So, you buy the property. I bought the property for $220. I'm all in for like $400. I cash out refi, pull out my money out. Like the value was like just over $500, just around $500. I pull out most of my money out. I think I had some money left in the deal. But then like my mortgage on is like 20 something, like 2,000 some change, very minor. And then I have like 10K, coming in. So that's like a $6,000,
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, cut.
It's great cash
Whereas
flow.
On the rents, I would make like $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
Still very good. Celebrate. Yeah. But I'd rather make the 10.
I'm not well versed, and John, my partner, he's got an Airbnb in Plainfield.
I've seen his. Yeah, his is pretty cool, but he has a total different model.
Yeah, and it's like when he said I'm going to Airbnb, and I'm like, you're not, I'm like thinking to myself like he's not going to do well there, and all of a sudden like he's pulling in like, high 6 figures. I'm like, wow, like
money.
Yeah, that Airbnb market is insanity.
Oh, it's brother. Newark. Imagine and Newark is regulated. They don't enforce regulations. I've never seen anyone there, but there's only like 400 Airbnbs in Newark. To give you a comparison, in Fort Lauderdale, there's like 10,000 Airbnbs.
Oh yeah.
So like Newark is totally unsaturated, and in Newark there's so much other bigger issues that no one really cares about Airbnb and from the government, the municipality perspective, because there's bigger issues, like bigger fish to fry. Yeah. But I can tell you multiple people who are making 8, 9, 10. I have one guy, close friend of mine, like a brother. He's the most profitable 4-bedroom Airbnb in Newark. On his 2-family with a bonus in the basement, I'm not exaggerating, $14,000 last month.
Wow.
North Newark.
Yeah. But what is the attraction? Like, why would somebody go there to Airbnb his property? Like,
Yeah. So Newark is slept on a lot. Newark is my favorite market of anything else, right? Like, I love Newark more than I love any other city like in the world. My wife and I are going back and forth right now a lot. I want to move into Newark. We live in the Heights in Jersey City.
Nice.
She wants to stay in the Heights. So I'm like, it's a big like point of contest in the marriage. But ultimately, the pregnant lady wins. That's basically what I've learned. So,
or your clothes are going to be outside.
yeah, it's like, do I want to be homeless or be with my future son here? But so Newark is oftentimes slept on. Here's some facts about Newark that are really interesting. Every year, there's $3 billion public and private investment going into Newark.
Yeah.
There's over 7,000. Now it's like 9,000. But this is the old stat from last year. There's over 7,000 back then units under new construction in Newark.
Oh, wow.
Newark has transit in terms directly into the city, the train.
Yep.
It has a port, right? Water, right? 3 different major institutions, right? You could say 4, but really 3 major institutions: NJIT, Rutgers, the college,
Essex County
College. Yep. And you have Seton Hall, which technically is not in Newark, but it's literally like a block away from Upper Vailsburg.
Yeah.
So you have those universities. Plus you have Prudential Center. You have over 1,000 restaurants probably in the city. It's 320,000 people in Newark. Vacancy rate is plummeted. Crime rate plummeted. And you're having really a pro development agenda from the municipality.
Yeah.
Also, whereas like other surrounding municipalities are kind of like more, I would argue, more corrupt, bluntly.
Yeah.
Newark, they have like a anti-corruption campaign, and they are brutal, and they make it public, and they shame you, and they're brutal. So it's really cool. So Newark has a lot of things. Why people come to Newark Airbnb? Transit into the city. This is the best way I can explain it. Do you know the difference between neighborhoods in Bangkok, China?
No.
No, you have no idea?
No.
Okay. Do you think someone coming from China to New Jersey knows at all the difference between Summit
Nope.
and Newark?
Nope.
All they know is one thing. How close is the god dang city?
Yeah. Sure.
From my guy's Airbnb, 5 blocks, you're at the light rail, you go into the city 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all they care about. They don't know the difference between Montclair and Newark.
Yeah.
That's
Convenience
all
into the city.
If you have convenience into the city, you have good reviews on your Airbnb, and you have like professional photos that with like a green couch that pops, you're going to make a ton of money. That's like, if you have a green couch, good photos, and good reviews, you'll make, and like you're near the city, you'll make a ton of money. It's like that simple.
So I looked at it wrong because when I think Airbnb, I'm like, all right, down to shore, something touching water, Poconos, right?
Yeah.
Some sort of attraction where I can walk to. So you're saying there's a lot of money to be made,
Oh my God.
Just for convenience.
Infinite
People,
amount-
and then I
infinite
think
amount of
Newark is also, I'm not 100% sure, and you'll be able to tell me this better. A film production company is supposed to come in.
So Lionsgate. Lionsgate, so they basically took down the projects, essentially. Seth Boyden Projects, I believe it's the name of the former projects. And they put a $120 million film studio.
Wow.
So this is, guys, there's so much money. Do you know Irby and Harrison?
No.
Irby, okay, so Irby is really cool. This is the coolest luxury apartment building ever. They have one in Jersey City. They have one in, I think, Chicago. I may be wrong. And they have one in Harrison. They're opening one in downtown Newark.
Oh, they are.
Where 1 bedrooms are going for like 22, 23.
Is that the one by
29.
Red Bulls, the Red Bull Stadium?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, that one. So you know the vibe.
Yeah.
Like super cool. It's like a campus.
It's like I think UK inspired.
Yes. Very Eastern, very Western European, very like Eastern European, like Swedish vibes, like super minimalist.
Yeah.
Everything has like a luxury cafe, and this cafe is like a tree house in the cafe. It's such, but this is Newark, literally where like a few years ago people were getting shot on that block.
Yeah.
They're like, you have people investing in $150 million.
Wow.
Shaquille O'Neal is on his 3rd building. He has one Route 21.
I'm mad at Shaq. He bought my old school at Science High School on Rector. He bought that building, sat on it for like years, and then he built an apartment. He built an apartment building there.
Well, this is the life of Shaquille
So
O'Neal.
he does own a couple of apartment buildings.
He just submitted plans for his another on the water. He's building 400 units. Yeah. He submitted the plans 3 or 4 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's
people don't know he's from Newark.
Oh, he's from Newark.
Yeah. And his best friend is a police officer. I don't know if he's still a police.
Oh, really?
Police
In
officer.
Newark?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I would not mess with that guy.
So Newark is booming, basically.
Yeah, Newark is booming. And a lot, like infinite amount of money to be made. And really cool things for first-time home buyers. Like there's a program in Newark, if you're a resident in Newark and you buy in Newark, it's a $10,000 grant.
Yes.
Just it doesn't matter if you make $1 million a year, $10,000.
Yeah.
Like buy in Newark, $10,000.
Yeah. So they're pushing for home ownership.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And in Newark, Like 12% of homes across the country were bought by institutional investors last year.
Yeah.
In Newark, there was a report that came out. Who owns Newark? Newark is literally one of the, it's like number one and number two top cities in the country for institutionalized investors.
Really?
It's 2 out of 3. I actually talked to a guy who wrote the report. His name is Dr. Trout, very intelligent guy, but he did, do you know how you do like LLC buyouts? Like
Yeah.
So LLC buyouts, for those who don't know, if I have an LLC that owns 20 properties and you purchase my LLC, technically there was no sale of property, it was a sale of LLC.
Correct.
Right? So he did not consider that when he was doing the math, essentially counting. But from his math, a minimum of 2 out of 3 properties sold in Newark last year were bought by an institutional investor.
Wow.
It is one of the worst in the country. The home ownership rate in Newark is like 27% of Newark's own a property.
Yeah.
Of Newarkers own a property. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty bad, man. Like actually, it's like
depressing. Talk to Ras Barak.
Yeah. Oh, Ras Barak is doing everything, man. Yeah. He's like honestly, I think this guy is gonna get like, I hope to God he's like protected by God himself, because he does things that I think are like way too far, but he just doesn't care. He just keeps pushing. He was like, look, they're gonna try to take me out. I don't care. I'm gonna keep going till they kill me. That's his view, and he's like a warrior
because he's like protecting his, the residents there,
protecting his city, and he feels like it's not enough to develop the city. There has to be equitable growth. So Ras Barak, like he genuinely, I'm getting closer and closer. I sit on like an advisory committee for like home ownership promotion, affordable. It's like 20 of us with him, like developers. I'm the only realtor there, and dude, the guy, he like really puts his money where his mouth is. Yeah. And when you talk to him, you get like chills. Yeah. Like goosebumps.
Yeah, I've spoken to Raz. Yeah,
he's like inspiring, right?
Yeah, he's all about Newark, and I think a lot of towns need, more mayors like Raz who are, emotionally invested in the town, because there's a lot of mayors that don't live in the town, or they don't care about the town. Like they're there for a paycheck, right? Yeah. And I may be wrong.
Or power.
Or power, right?
Because maybe sometimes they have money, but money can only get you so far. Yeah. The power will get you money.
And being the mayor of Newark, one of the most prominent cities in New Jersey, obviously.
God, the infinite power.
And one of the most well-paid mayors.
He just got raised.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of eyes on him, and since I've left Newark, I've been out of there over 10 years. I mean, I've saw the development and growth. So much. And it's amazing. My parents are still there. They live in the Ironbound section.
Yeah. Nice.
But where I went to school, Rutgers University.
You saw it firsthand.
Yeah, that whole entire area by Prudential Center has completely changed.
Huge.
Which is amazing. But let's digress here for a second. Shout out to Ras Barak. Tell us now what you're doing on the real estate side. Are you representing more buyers? Are you representing more sellers? What does that look like? And what is your preference? You prefer, working more on the seller side as a listing agent, or more as a buyer's agent?
So it's, for the way I see it, it's like all about leverage, right? Like my goal in life is the way I view business, my framework is to work as little as possible and make the largest amount of impact. So if I can get like 1 for 2, it's nice. But I want to give 1 and get 10. So I learned, and primarily when you start up, it's all like and people disagree. I'm just telling you my view. Primarily when you step up, when you start, you should actually, my view is like work only with buyers. Become like an expert in transactions. Buyers are easier. And I've seen arguments against this, and I do agree with them as well. So, but for me, what I teach my agents is for them to work on buyers, work on buyers, work on buyers, work on buyers. For me, we have a team right now of 7 full-time agents. It's the largest amount of agents we've had at one time. 7 including myself. Then we have 2 transaction coordinators, 3 VAs, and a director of ops. So that's our team setup. Yeah. So, and on top of that, we do have like a call center overseas. The call center, they help us get more listings than anything else. For example, like right now, I only work with sellers. I don't do anything with buyers whatsoever. I pass on the buyers to my team, and I do teach a team to get agents. So we don't have like buyers agent, sellers agents on or listing agents on my team. You're an agent. Yeah. The opportunity arises for you to get buyers agents. Listings, awesome. But our business last year,
that's how it should be, by the way. Yes. Because there's a lot of teams that are against that.
I know, and that's actually really bad, because what it does, it creates hierarchy.
Correct.
Because then people think like, oh, you're a listing agent. Oh man, I'm a buyer's agent. This sucks. Yeah. When I know buyer's agents who make more money than listing agents. Yeah. So for us, we did 222 units last year, which is a cool number.
How much?
222.
Wow.
Cool number, right?
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot of units.
I'd rather 222 than 223, because it's 222. It's like, right? It's kind of better.
I think you'd rather 222 than like, 102.
Yeah.
Or 199 or 188. Yeah. So that's a great number. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did 222. That represented just shy of like 100 mil in volume. Yeah. Our average price point is now like as high as some. We're like at 450 or something. Yeah. We did like 60 something percent seller and like just under 40% buyer. So we're like a different, like usually it's 50-50 or like sometimes it's 40% seller, 60% buyer.
Usually it's more skewed on the buyer side.
Yes. So we did opposite.
When you have a team structure.
Yes. So we're like heavy on the seller side, and like that's my like biggest value add, I think, to one of our team, because in building real estate team, people thought the value was culture. That was like really pushed on, right? Yeah. Culture was a hot word. Then people thought leads was the hot word.
Yeah.
Then like Zillow, Premier, Flex, all these programs, right? But the real value, the most important value that you can offer a team, more than training, more than social media, film production, whatever, are appointments. If you book people on appointments, that is the most valuable thing ever. What is an appointment? An appointment is a set time and place with a coachable, motivated, qualified seller.
Yeah.
Or a coachable, motivated, qualified buyer. Hey, go show this person this property at 5 p.m.
Yeah, so you're taking out all the stress work.
Oh yeah,
right.
And
so
don't
you're
get me wrong, they
so
still
your ISAs are doing. They're calling
on sellers. Like my ISAs like call upwards of like 50,000 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah, like they're like 50,000 dials in. Like last week they hit 80 something thousand dials.
Yeah. And what are you guys doing for buyers?
On buyers, so we do pay to play quite a bit, and now we actually shifted. So we were doing like quite a bit of like paying Zillow. But then we found and we still do that. And we have a great relationship with our lender, and like he's honestly the GOAT. And like his name is Carlos Figuera. Big shout out, huge to him. We keep one mortgage. But so what we've actually like now shifted on is with our lenders, instead of just paying for ads, which is like what majority of lenders do. Yeah. But that's only so valuable, right? Once you get to a certain point. Yeah. What we end up doing is like, hey, we need coachable, motivated, qualified buyer leads. We want you to tell us, hey, this person wants to buy a house for this much. And that's what we're looking for lenders. We want them to give us, because we are lead genning, and then just handing off. Where we want them to pay for leads and give us the lead, like a hot qualified lead that they got through a referral. And that really is the value.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Which is
because usually
tough.
The model, that's very tough, because usually the model is, when real estate brokers or agents rather have a working relationship with a lender, typically the trade-off is a lender will subsidize a lot of their marketing costs or their lead generation costs, but the real estate agent is really qualifying that lead and then handing it off to the mortgage rep. So you guys are doing it the opposite way.
We're doing both.
Yeah, you're still doing both.
We're doing both,
right.
Without a doubt. We still pass off hot leads, but we make it very clear, I need you to give me hot leads. Yeah. This is not.
You're saying, hey, look, we're going to qualify leads, but you also need to qualify if you want to work with my team. Yeah, that's good.
It's impossible because the most valuable thing are appointments. Yeah. So if I can get that lead, hey, Brendan, I just had a lender call me. Hey, I have this guy. He wants 6 beds. There's new constructions, right? Newark, the 2-family new construction. Yep. He's like, I have a person. They want this. Who should I send it to on your team? Yeah. So that's the motto. We don't just have the lender talk to the team. This way, the team understands that like me as a team lead, I'm the one offering the like connect. Because you don't want the team to build a relationship with the lender and then you're no longer like a value, because now they've like, so when it's like literally a psychological thing, you want the lead to come through you for the team member to recognize like, I have this because Brendan trusts me. Yeah. Not just because the lender trusts me.
So that's a stickiness factor for you and your team. So you did that obviously for a couple of reasons. Number one, it does provide value. Yep. Right. And number two, right, retention is very high.
Oh yeah.
People don't want to leave the team. And there's a trade-off. Like, I'll give up more of my commission, but I'm walking into appointments.
Oh yeah, and our like commission splits, I'm pretty transparent. We have, no matter like, even if you come in and you do like 100 units, I don't care. Like it's 50-50 on the buy and then 30-70 on the sell. So like we keep 70 on the sell, they keep 30 on the sell. And honestly, I've never had a complaint. Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the model that you're doing.
Yeah. Right. I actually heard a myth once. This is like I don't know if this is true, but I heard a myth. And this was kind of like a badass myth about Michelle. That one time a guy, this is like a rumor that I heard, but I thought it was really cool because I was like, man, this woman's such a badass. Yeah. So basically this guy like interviews with Michelle, and then she says, hey, our split is X, whatever it is, XX. And the guy's like, well, listen, I really appreciate that. I would love to work with you. Last year I did 30 something deals. I would love, to make this happen. But because of my experience, I would like to negotiate the split. Yeah. And she like stands up, she shakes his hand and is like, hey, this is not for you. Because he didn't like recognize the value that she said.
Yeah, Michelle is, brings in a lot of value. She's the top listing agent, according to Garden State MLS in the entire state. Beast. Right, which is a monstrous accomplishment. Yeah. Right, and she's one of the most branded agents right now. Being on
in Jersey for sure. Yeah, Jersey, even across. You think how many? Yeah, Jersey for sure. Beast.
Yeah. And Michelle, and I won't disclose like her splits, but they're very favorable to the agents. It's actually the highest from what I've seen. She has the highest splits for team members across the board that I've ever seen. They're tiered, right? If you're working with a buyer, it's separate. You know, if it's your own sphere of influence, it's a different split, obviously higher. So and she just like you, she encourages like, go get your listings. We want you to be listing agents because we don't want the hierarchy either. Yeah. And you're right, that does create divisiveness when it comes to like team structures.
Surprising, right? Yeah. I never would have thought about it until I saw it. Then I'm like, man, this is like so dramatic.
Yeah. Because like agents talk amongst agents, right? Yeah, I'm making this kind of money or I'm making that kind of money. And
they like, won't tell you. Yeah. No. But then when they leave, they're like, oh my God, what happened?
And they talk amongst, the group, right?
Yeah.
You know,
but I'm really grateful. My team, I'll be honest with you, like it is very difficult because we don't use the word family anymore. I used to use the word family because you were like, oh, we're family. Family is unconditional. A team is not conditional. You have to show up and I have to show up. That. Yeah, like you can use it.
We need the Bradley of fire button, like.
Oh.
We
got it. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like a team is non-conditional.
Yeah, you're right.
You're going to leave me if I don't continue to provide you more and more value.
Some team members, though, in my experience, I've been doing this for 18 years, and I've been a solo agent, and I was part of a team, and I was the top producing member of the Michelle Pye's team. Some team members, in my opinion, do become family, where it does become unconditional, but very, it's an anomaly.
It is very dangerous.
It's an anomaly.
It's honestly dangerous because for me, like I'm very empathetic. Yeah. So like my top guy's name is Brent. What am I so far? I have like three more people who I think could replace him, like in terms of production for sure. But his name was Brent McCulley. He did like 50 units, right? Last year with us, or 40-something units.
He's not with you, or he's still
he moved to Florida.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, but he's like a best friend of mine. But when he left, it was very, very challenging. My first experience of like just having an open hand.
Yeah.
So like the way I view it now is like the people on my staff, they don't belong to me. So like they're open hand. Like God put them in my hands to take care of them for a while, and they may grow with me, or they may end up being capped. For me, I view the business now, it's really been, because I used to freak out, like, oh, is this person gonna leave? Now I'm like, listen, if this is better for you to leave, if you're not flourishing here, I need you to leave.
Yeah.
Like if I've capped out the value I can offer you, I would really pain me for you to stay here. Because I want people in my organization to be flourishing. And that may look like a year. Yeah. That may look like 10 years.
Yeah.
It could be different for everybody.
Yeah.
So for me though, that's where I'm at right now. Where I'm just like open-handed. If someone's on my team right now, like I have one really good team member. His name is Chris. This guy is like really popping off. He had a slow season. Now he's picking up like 2-3 contracts every month. Boom, 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 boom. He's become a very dear friend, right? Yeah. Play basketball with him, all this stuff. But I make it clear when we play basketball, I try not to talk about work.
Yeah.
Because I know one day he may leave.
Yeah.
And I want him to know that like I want to maintain a relationship with him because he's family. It has to exist outside of work.
Yeah, that's the toughest part, by the way.
Toughest part.
I run a brokerage with over 400 agents.
Yeah, you probably see him way more than me.
And like I don't think people understand the attrition rate in real estate is very high. People are in, out. And that's for every company in the world,
because a new brokerage is going to make you more money.
Yeah.
The new brokerage. You got to get to new brokerage. That's the problem. It's not that you didn't do lead gen.
Correct.
It's that, the new brokerage.
There's a lot of variables. It's not so much about the money because we are around a $10,000 cap. So it's like there's nowhere you can go to get more money. But what I've seen is that if a person doesn't do well in our brokerage, they'll automatically blame the brokerage, despite the trainings and the culture and the support.
And
they'll go somewhere else, and they think that if they change that environment, that it's going to cure the problem.
Correct.
And they don't get it. It's really mindset for them, and they have to work on that mindset, right? And I know that from experience. When I left Weicker to go to Signature, it wasn't so much the brokerage, even though I thought it was. It was that when the moment I left to go to Signature, my mindset changed. Yeah. Now, what the difference was that when I was at Signature, the people that I chose to spend my time around were people that made my mindset change, right? So the 5 people that you hang out with, it makes a big difference, right? Or the closest people.
There's like a famous saying. It's like the average income of the 5 people you surround yourself with will be your income.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to be a millionaire, hang out with 5 millionaires, and that's a true story.
That's true.
Exactly.
No, I agree. That's facts.
But for me, it's hard. And I talk to Melissa all the time. Say what's up, Mel. It's the emotional connection that sometimes you develop with people, and I like that aspect that you're saying that you now try not to get emotionally connected to them.
No, I am emotionally connected. Don't get it twisted. I love my people. Yeah. Like I feel like God gave me them for this season to like provide for them and to like give them the opportunity to help them flourish. However, I just recognize that they do not belong to me, that my role is to help them flourish, period. Gotcha. It's not to I want to keep this person for 20 years. I don't think like that anymore. I think, what can I do to offer this person value?
Wings.
Give them wings. If you want to fly away, fly away. Yeah. But hopefully I'm offering you value, partnership opportunities to make it happen.
Do you ever have do you ever have a conversation with anybody in your team and say, look, you know, I think it's time for you to, I think there's greater things for you. It's time for you to move on. Or do they have that conversation with you first?
I pray to God that I have it with them first, or I'll be very like deaf to what the reality. That's a great question. I would say right now what I'm doing is
not easy being a leader.
No. Right now what I'm doing, that's a great question actually. Right now what I'm doing is I'm being extremely brutal in the first 30 days. So we just had someone who came on, guy was definitely a salesperson, like blood in, blood out sales, right? Yeah. Like really, really gonna crush it. But I would honestly, I think I pushed him out because I even like my mentor told me, he's like, Brendan, I think you were too tough, but I just don't give a crap anymore. Because like now I'm in a place where I financially I'm not in need, and it's literally liberated me to just make integrous decisions about how I want to run the company. Yeah. So this guy, for example, he showed up late one day. I have a rule. You show up late within the first 30 days, you're dead to me.
Show up late to the office.
And this is the thing. Our team is mandated to be at the office every day.
Gotcha.
We don't play that.
Yeah.
So like we were saying earlier before that a lot of people don't come to offices, right? Agents now, they don't come to office. For me, I don't literally, our team is a job. So like you will come to office every day. I have one agent right now, he's not coming to office 2 days a week, but that's more so because he just like needs a rest, right? Gotcha. He needs a recovery. His dog is very sick. He's taking care of the dog. So there's some flexibility. Yeah. But outside of him, like if you don't come to the office, you're just not getting leads. Yeah. That's how I see it. You didn't come to the office today. If you show up late, like I had a lady today, show up 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late. She's not on leads. Like get off of leads. What are you doing? Like you want to go home, go home. You showed up late. You're not here.
Oh, you're whipping them.
You have to. Yeah. That's why you don't have to. Let me rephrase. For our culture, we have I have a girl. She joined my team April. Right now we're in September. So that's like 6 months, 5 months. She will close between April and December 20 deals. She has no prior real estate experience. She was in another brokerage for a month, 2 months, another KW. How many people do you know in their first 9 months of business closing 20 deals?
It's not many.
Not many.
Not many at all. I could tell you that. Handful of people.
She's already closed 6 deals. She has like 10 under contract. She might pass 20, honestly. Her goal is 22. I said 20. I don't know why I even limited her. Yeah. She's killing it. But it's because there is such a high level of discipline. Yeah. There are no games to be played. Even on the script. We have the script. If I walk by someone and they don't follow the script, I hang up on their call. Yeah. I say, listen, no. Hang up. You already failed. Yeah. Hang up. I'll hang up in the client's face. So I'm like, you follow the script the exact way it's written, or you're not going to succeed.
And success is a commitment to discipline, right?
Yeah. And I know I'm intense, so I'm not saying everyone has to be like that. But for me,
it's what that works for you, and that works for your team, and you set the bar high for them, and because you know what it takes.
And they agree to it,
of course.
Because I tell them again, I'm like, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah. They say, yeah. I want to make money. Are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, I watch HGTV. Are you sure you want to do this? No, I saw Ryan Serhant. Yeah. Okay, listen, we're selling properties in Newark right now. Yeah. Are you ready to bang on a tenant's door? Yeah. Like this is real life. Yeah. And are you willing to like show up and follow on? So like the second week on the job, a third week on the job, a new agent for us, they're dialing 1,500 people that week and they're contacting 300.
Wow.
So like that's the third week on the job. If you can't do that, you are out. Yeah. Like there's no like, oh, I was sick. You're not even allowed to be sick the first 30 days. I'm not even playing.
Where are you? I'm in I'm in a hospital. I'm sick.
I literally.
Do you got your phone with you? You better be dialing.
No. Even if they have their phone with them, I don't care. Yeah. You're either in the hospital or you're in the office. Yeah. There's no work from home the first 30 days.
I've heard that already a couple of times. Yeah. You're either in the office or you're in the hospital.
The end.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
And I learned this really from, which I got to give respect to the guy, Louis. Because Louis, he used to say the same thing to me, the broker, and I'm like, dude, this guy's tough, man. Yeah. But honestly, the guy actually, even though he was on something that as a young millennial, I just didn't have ears to hear. Yeah. As a new agent, I want to do it my way. But Mike, if a new agent who's closed, let's say 20 deals, talks to you about how they should run their business, they're being egotistical.
Of course, yeah. And there's
you are the expert. Now. You got to like, what are you saying to me? Yeah. Like you've done this for a few months, and you're thinking you're going to change our company. Yeah. You're going to leave. I'm still going to be here. Yeah. This is not like a democracy. It's a dictatorship. Yeah. Right? It's like a benevolent dictatorship for the benefit of everybody involved.
Gotcha.
But and it's tough what I'm saying, but it really has to be this way, or it just doesn't work, man.
Yeah. So you crack the whip, right? You have expectations. You know what it takes.
And they crack the whip on themselves.
Well, as you should.
No, they do on each other now. Like I'm now leaving. They all say like, listen, we're like lead gen time. Like we have to focus right now. Like please leave the room. Even when I'm not there, they will tell each other that like, hey, you're handling files right now. This is lead gen time. Can you please get out the room?
Yeah. Wow. I got to come and see that.
It's real life. I swear my life.
See it. I got to come see it. Let's talk about the market, right? Yeah. You've been in the business long enough to have seen a different market. And now, you had pre-COVID, COVID, which was absolutely insanity in New Jersey, I think all over the country, really. And now the market is slightly shifting, right? Some people or some agents across the country and across the state claim that it's really shifted a lot. And I don't see that. I know that it has shifted, and I've been calling this for what, a year now, Mel, the shift. What is your prediction moving forward as far as what you think is going to happen in the real estate market in the next let's say, call it 24 to 36 months?
I am not an economist.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
They're always wrong, by the way. Most of those.
Yeah. So basically everyone's wrong. I'll probably get paid more money if I knew what was going to happen. Yeah. But honestly, what I see right now, we are like cutting prices in like my markets, like which is like more Essex County, like Bloomfield, Belleville, Nutley, Newark, East Orange, Elizabeth, Irvington, Clifton. Even we are like definitely less aggressive on list prices, and we're like now advising our clients like drop price. So it is.
So days on the market are higher right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like we used to do this thing where like, hey, we're gonna sell your house in like 7 days. Now we tell people like, do you got a month? Because that is, or do you want to sell 7 days? You got to drop price. And that's like what I'd say. So I think the market's going to go down price wise? Man, I really don't know. Genuinely, what I imagine though is yes.
Yeah. So you're saying that already.
That's what I'm saying. If it's already happening now, I can't imagine that, because my mind says like, I don't really think people are just going to eat like a 7% interest rate and say, oh, it is what it is. Yeah. I think there is going to be a major like, man, this is too crazy. Yeah. Because I would do the same thing. I'd be like, I got to hold tight. I got to wait till this comes down. Even if it kept going up, like, no, I got to wait.
Yeah, and that's happening across the board right now with a lot of buyers, right? And it's, for some people, it's already at 7%. When I say some people, for
investors,
investors even higher,
no
but
income.
For somebody who doesn't have perfect credit, right? And they're going, let's say conventional, but they're putting whatever 10 or 15% down, whatever the case may be, but their scores under 680 or whatever. There's obviously a price adjustment. I'm hearing that they're getting quoted 7%. Yeah, right. If you look at Mortgage News Daily or Mortgage Daily News. The average rate right now is about 6.5. Yeah, which is crazy because 6 months ago rates were still like at 3 and change. Brutal. So I think the average person right now has lost $150,000 to $200,000 in buying power,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
because
it's insanity.
Yeah, it literally, if you drop $200,000 in buying power, like, do you think the seller's gonna drop his price $200,000 from 8 months ago?
No,
hell no.
Not gonna happen.
Seller just told me today, like, Brendan, look, I got 1 year. Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, I can't work with you right now. I'm so sorry. And straight up, I'll have that conversation. Like, right now, we only want to work with people who are moving within the next 3 months. Yeah. Like, that's our definition. Like, if you're looking to move in like 6 months, let's wait. Yeah. Like, I'll come back to you in 3 months. No worries. Yeah. So you can list somebody else. And then, like, 3 months from now, I'll come in, I'll take the listing. Or 6 months whenever the listing expires. Yeah. And that's it.
And the market, 6 months from now, the market probably is going to be different from where it's at today.
Right? I can't imagine it's better, man, because I don't know.
No, buyer demand is definitely coming down for sure.
Yeah, man. Pretty, at least in my market, it's pretty drastic. Yeah. And there's a lot of programs I'm familiar with. I'm familiar with a program that's like, through Valley National, that's 3.25% down. Oh, sorry, 3.25% interest rate, 30-year fixed, no PMI, 5% down. If you make like less than 120.
Yeah. Is that Mike Enriquez?
Yes, Mike Enriquez. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, this guy's so funny. He's like an old school Portuguese kind of guy too.
Yeah, I know Mike for like 15, 20 years.
Good guy, really good guy, really genuine person, really genuine.
Yeah, that's I think that's like a community
Reinvestment Act.
Yeah, Reinvestment Act.
CRA.
Yep, that's a great program.
Great program, which is crazy.
Yeah. I think also moving forward, not now, I'm not saying in the next 2 years, but I think like moving forward 5, 10, 15 years, if inflation continues to be a real problem, prices continue to rise, I think you're going to start seeing the start of like 40-year mortgages, right?
Do you know what's so funny?
There is already, but it's like
in China. That's what they do. Yeah. They do 40-year mortgages. Yeah, I was like, wow. And Michael Marinetti, he mentioned the same thing to me. Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm hearing about banks that are trying to bring 40-year mortgages to America. Yeah. I'm like, 40-year mortgage. Oh my God.
And that was a thing back in 2006 and 7.
Was it?
Yeah, right, Chris? I don't know if you ever. So you could have gotten a 40-year mortgage interest only. I had a 1040, which was interest only your first 10 years, amortized over 40 years. For cash flow purposes, great. Right? For equity purposes, it sucked.
So good.
right? It was awful because you weren't buying down any principal, right? And and it was 40 years.
You just have to marry that property.
Yeah, exactly.
You're married. Were people doing it?
Yeah, plenty of it. Yeah, so much. Yeah, I mean, there, 05, 06, 07, there was like crazy stuff happening in the market. I know you
have no idea.
2017, but there was a lot of craziness happening. I personally think you will see the rise of the 40-year mortgage coming soon. It's not a qualified mortgage, by the way. It's not a QM loan, but I think eventually Fannie and Freddie Mac will make that a QM loan because there's, with rising prices and rates being where it's at, that's kind of a solution. I think if the market begins to get a little stagnant where buyer demand really diminishes tremendously and inventory rises, you need to solve for that in the market.
Yeah, we need to do something.
That's how you solve for it, right? 40-year mortgage.
That's it. Honestly, I'm sold.
Yeah. I'm not getting one, but it is what it is.
No. Yeah. But I think you're right. Anything we can do to help.
Yeah. And look, I think one of the biggest problems right now in the market in terms of price, in terms of everything that's going on is, the push for home ownership, right?
Yeah. It's very sad.
It is because there's been a lot of inequality over the last 2 years with prices rising so much. I mean, Mel is here. She's a buyer's agent, predominantly. And she used to always cry and complain about, I didn't get my offer accepted and this,
I
that, and
went 100K over.
Yeah, and it's sad for those people that are really trying their best to be a homeowner, right? It's sad for them because this is their dream. Especially if you come from another country, Portugal, Brazil, Russia, whatever the country it is, you come here and this is what you want to do. Like you want to be the first person in your family to own a house, and all of a sudden now you're getting pushed out because prices are high. Now you're getting pushed out because rates are high.
And it's even worse.
Prices are still high.
So think about gentrification, right? So you have people who grew up in an area, love this area, all they know is this area. Now they literally can't afford. I had one lady, she was 4th generation Newark. She says, I'm moving out of Newark. Yeah. Think about what that does to community. It's almost traumatic, honestly.
It is, yeah.
So and this has actually been going on, it's called it's already competitive from New Yorkers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But in
New Yorkers.
Yes. In my market primarily, which is Newark, we've been number 1 in Newark for 2 years in a row. This is our 3rd year, God willing.
Yeah.
Man,
Congrats, by the way.
I appreciate it deeply. It's been a long road. What I would say, or at least difficult road, it hasn't been long, it's only been 5 years, but it feels long. Yeah. The point I'm trying to say is think about you competing with a guy from New York who has a lot of money. Yeah. Now, okay, that's tough. Now think about competing with a hedge fund who buys literally 2/3 of the properties in your city.
Yeah.
Who has billions of dollars.
Let's talk about that because that's a great topic, right?
Yeah, it's brutal, man. It's an end of, honestly, in my opinion, the worst thing that's happening against home ownership right now is not rates, is not property condition, is not access, is not information. All that's out there.
Yeah.
We was talking about community grant program, 3.25%.
Yeah.
Right? No PMI.
Yeah. So it's the institutional money.
The institutional money is predatorial. It's FU money. It does not stop. There's no end. These guys are not buying 3 families for $300,000 like they used to. I have an investor right now. He buys 20, 25 properties a month.
Jesus.
Dude, the guy literally buys 3 families north that need a lot of work with non-paying tenants in the central ward, $425,000.
Yeah.
Would you buy that property? Heck no. It's $425,000.
I wouldn't buy it because from an investment standpoint, to me, it just makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
The cash flow isn't there.
But do you know what these guys are doing? They're taking their money that they sell, the 1031, because they sell big businesses. They dump it in these properties. They cash out refi. They depreciate the asset using cost segregation, and then they're out. And the reality is the worst part of institutional investors. In New Jersey, we don't see it as much. But across the country, we see it. They're buying single-family homes. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing that's really effed up. If you're a flipper, you buy a single-family home, you're actually almost doing a good thing. This is a dilapidated property. It's a burden to the city. It's a burden to the homeowner. You're actually kind of honestly doing better. You're giving the town a facelift.
You're providing solutions.
Yeah, this is the value. Yeah. Okay, now, institutional buyer, they're buying single families, and the difference between flipper is going to do what? Flip the property back to a homeowner. Fix it and renovate, American dream.
Yeah.
An institutional buyer, these hedge funds, and they're not massive conglomerates. Some of these guys are just people with 10, 20 million in the bank.
Yeah.
They buy, they never flip, and single family, they keep it and they never sell it.
Yeah, they rent it out.
So now they stole that from the marketplace. Yeah. So not only is there not enough new construction to satisfy demand, now they're robbing. Mm-hmm. Not robbing though, because we live in capitalism where housing is commodity. Yeah. But yeah, man, institutional buyers, I would say it's the worst thing that could ever happen to American dream, because home ownership is the avenue, right? That is the dream. So if you steal fair competition, it's kind of effed up. But what is the government gonna do? Stop how many houses one person can own? One company can own? That's crazy.
But it is a conversation for Congress to actually have, because you don't see it so much in New Jersey, even though you're saying that in Newark, but in a lot of other states, you have companies like Open Door, even though their concept is they buy, they sell, right? Which they're obviously taking a bath on a lot of their properties. Zillow obviously stopped. But you have companies like BlackRock, which is a huge institution, and they're buying hundreds of thousands of properties.
They just raised like $1 billion.
Yeah, to buy more. And they're in the single family sector. That's what they want.
Yes.
They're literally going in communities where there's like, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80 houses and they're buying.
They're buying a whole community down in Florida.
Yeah.
Literally, whole community.
Yeah, I saw the article on that. Yeah.
It's insanity. It's good business. It's bad. It's bad. I can't chew on it.
No, it's bad in general
not about it.
For the consumer.
Yeah, I'm just not about it. I think you got to have you got to have a somewhat fair playing field. Like the whole thing about capitalism is equal opportunity.
Yeah.
There's no shot you have equal opportunity when you have $1 billion competing against you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
so I mean, how do you stop it? Like somebody's got to lobby to Congress and say, hey guys, we got to put a stop to this.
How do you stop that?
Like you're going to cause homeownership to single family homeownership to really sink
right
if
now.
This continues.
Right now in Newark, what they're doing is they're giving. We started a club in Newark. Right, this is an initiative. It's kind of like NACA, but in my opinion, better.
Yeah.
Here's why. We're launching in January. It's called Newark Buyers Club. We connect off-market properties to Newark residents. Mm-hmm. So what's the hardest part about finding a house? You were joking with Melissa, right, with like not getting her offer accepted. Yeah. It's literally getting your offer accepted. Right at this point, it's like, okay, because let's say the seller wants $450. If you put it on the market, it'll jump up to $490. Mm-hmm. These guys, the investors, are buying properties at $400 because they're not listing. There's no inspection. There's no commissions, whatever, right? Yeah. And then these investors like myself, I want to buy for $320. So instead, what we're doing is we're going to have these residents in Newark. You have to be a active resident in Newark, or a resident who moved out and wants to move back in to own or occupy the home. We're going to have them go through a 3-month course where they're going to learn about what it takes to really own a home. Mm-hmm. We're going to connect them with grant programs in the city, the $10,000, the low PMI, the no PMI, and we're going to do free credit repair. Then once they go through that, and like this, think about, it's going to be a pump up. It's not just be like a boring, like think about like some like, hey, here's some life skills, like limited mindset, fixed mind, like these kind of frameworks, open mindset. So when we give these people these skills and these skills, right, and we help them get on the path of homeownership, once they pass that, 3 months intensive, then they're going to have access to a first look opportunity. So before, I don't even know if this is
very similar like HUD does.
Yes, very similar to HUD.
Just Fannie Mae does too, right? Yes. They do the first look initiative first 21 days. Yes. So you can't buy, if you're an investor, you can't buy it unless you're going to be, that's going to be your primary residence, and you can't buy it under an LLC.
Yes. Yeah. So we're going to do very similar to that, but with only Newark residents. Mm-hmm. I think, I'm not sure if it's legal. If it's not legal, I have to figure it out, but I'm going to do it. Yeah. Hopefully it ends up being legal. I don't know. Yeah. I think it's legal.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great if you're the pioneer of that space in that area. And I think more people should be inspired by what you're saying, doing the same thing in their local markets.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You should do it if someone wants to do it in Newark, do it in Newark. Yeah. Start right now. Newark Buyers Club, put an apostrophe. Who cares? Yeah. Right? Like, I don't care. Do it. It's it's not about like the money. Even right now, what we're doing, I sat like with the deputy mayor of Newark. Her name is Allison Lade. And I pitched the idea, and I even said, what if we dropped our commission to like 0 and we just connected it for you guys? And like we just pitch to homeowners, sell direct to Newark, and pay no commission. We don't need, how much money do I need? So I'm okay with doing like 20 deals a year for free. It's not going to kill me, right? I'll be fine. Yeah. So like if I do 20 deals, or not even free, I say, okay, maybe that's going to be too much. Maybe we do 2% for both sides, right? Instead of 6%. Gotcha. Yeah. And the homeowner saves 3%, and we contribute 1% towards the buyer's closing costs. Yeah, anything we can do, like, we have to. The
logistics of that, you'll figure it out. Yeah. It's just getting that started, executing it, and then having the city on board.
What I realized is if I wait for the city, it's going to take too long. That's what I realized. I just have to do it myself. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you make it public and you make some noise, I think that the residents will be backing you up, and I think that they have no other choice but to help out.
Yeah, that's why I love the city. I have a lot of respect for Allison Lade. She's actually really like an amazing woman. Yeah. But I just you can't wait you just got to do things.
Yeah, I didn't realize that institutional money was flying through Newark like that.
But it is a massacre. Yeah. They say 2 out of 3. It's
opportunity
really
zones probably play a huge role on that, right?
And the people in Newark, the homeowners, they've owned these properties for 40 years. They're ripe for the picking. Yeah. Predatory environments that institutional buyers are most prevalent in. Yeah. Philadelphia, in our area. So let me stick to New Jersey. Camden, Newark, Patterson.
Oh, Patterson?
Oh, Trent maybe. I don't know Trent. Yeah. I know these 3 for sure. Yeah. Patterson, Camden, Newark. Yeah. What do all those communities have in common? They're predominantly black. They're predominantly poor. The average family of 4 in Newark makes just shy of like $37,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
Think about how bad that is. So these people, if you're making $37,000, more often than not, guess where you are not? You're not educated.
Yeah.
Come in, smoke them. And don't get me wrong, I just left a 2-family in East Orange. I told the guy, listen, I'll buy this property for $200,000. Maybe a little bit more. We can work something out. It has an oil tank. It's a good job, whatever.
Yeah.
Or you can put it on the market. You will make more money.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to do it.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to do it. You're going to make more money. I don't care. It's going to be a little bit more of a hassle. Wear cash. Whatever you want to do, I'm happy. Let me know. I'm here for you. When I send him the offer, I'm going to say him literally on the offer. I'll forward you an email. Here's the offer that we submit. Just let you know, you are more than happy to put it on the market. I'm acting in my best interest as an investor. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you as your realtor. If you put this on the market, I can ensure you will make more money. We are cash and we're looking forward to working with you. Yeah. Do you know what the guy said to me? What? He said, Brendan, we have not lived in this property for 3 years. This is nothing but a burden. Mm-hmm. We're not looking to make money. I just want to get out.
They want convenience.
Yeah. I just want convenience. Yeah. And I said, great. I go to bed, I sleep. I feel great about myself because I did the right thing, even though it may cost me a deal. But this guy, he feels good because he knows I'm being honest with him.
Yeah.
So,
and he knows that you're going to close your cash deal, blah, blah, blah.
Cash
That's
deal,
the whole
blah, blah,
purpose of doing that. And I'm glad you do that. John Steingraber also does the same thing, which is great.
You got to. Especially because you're at like, we're like, you know, we're not just free range wholesalers. You
lose your license over that.
Yeah, you can get smoked. Yeah. So I put it in writing too. So there's like a clear paper trail. I told the guy, put it on the market, you will make more money, period.
Yeah, I like that. You could get smoked.
You get smoked. You get, dude, lose my license? What do you want to do? You're going to see me at McDonald's if I lose my license. You want to see me at McDonald's?
You're going to go back
I don't
to
have any French fries.
Yeah, 2017 situation.
Yeah, I'm going to start wiping butts for old people. I don't want to make $12. Come on.
That's good. But Brandon, look, man, I appreciate you coming on board and you know, telling us your story and obviously providing us with tons of value today.
My honor.
And it definitely is going to open up, you know, my eye to the conversation in the future about institutional money and,
it's big.
you know, lobbying for, obviously, for the residents and, you know, for each specific town, because that is a problem when it comes to home ownership rate. For
it's really bad, man. And make sure you buy some Airbnbs. Well, much love. I appreciate you having me, man.
Anytime, man.
Yes, truly. All right. Awesome. Adios. I had a good handshake.
Peace.